Damn, I guess they just wanted it more than us. What's going on, Arizona sports fan family? Appreciate you guys for stopping in. We're going to talk about Arizona Cardinals versus the Baltimore Ravens week 2 preseason game, and this was a different game than we ended up seeing against the Cincinnati Bengals. Super crazy. Now, I want to give one big shout out to the Baltimore Ravens. They definitely wanted to win this game, and now their streak increased to 22 games undefeated in the preseason. So definitely big shout out to you guys. The Arizona Cardinals didn't come out here and play that, or we just got completely annihilated, and that just kind of goes to show like the culture that comes in from Baltimore Ravens, right? I talked about this on kind of my preview earlier this week. I was talking about like, hey, it's not that big of a deal, but dang, they came out here and they played. The second stringers, the third stringers, shoot, even the fourth stringers came out here and they played very physical. Just overall, great job for the Baltimore Ravens. That organization is absolutely culture up the wazoo. Let me just say that here. Now let's go and talk about the Arizona Cardinals and Ravens game just in general. Before we get started, definitely do me one huge favor, smack that like button and subscribe for more Arizona Cardinals content. We're going to be doing this throughout the entirety of the 2022 season, so definitely come along for the ride. And I am going live today as well, so definitely make sure you stop by that as well so we can talk about this game further in detail. But as of right now, when I'm recording this video, there's still about 3 minutes left in the third quarter. Now, a few different things that what we ended up seeing today. Trace McSorley played more than a half. He played a lot more this game that he ended up playing against the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, he had a pretty decent game. I don't want to call it a bad game, but as of right now, his stats stand as he's 12 out of 25, 156 yards, and then 2 interceptions, no touchdowns. Now, the Arizona Cardinals couldn't score any more than 3 points, and even right now, right, we're 3 minutes left of the third quarter, and the Arizona Cardinals just, they don't have that oomph. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's missing. Now, it makes sense why Trace McSorley is playing this long, right, because he's trying to fight for a spot in the 53-man roster. He's trying to be that number 3 quarterback. Now, I do believe he has done enough, but I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't make it. But on the other hand, I do think that the Arizona Cardinals will be bringing on 3 quarterbacks. It just makes more sense. Like, you never really know what's going to happen. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit more about what happened in this game. Matt Prater ended up missing another kick, another field goal. Now, this was a 54-yarder he was trying to nail, and it didn't get in. Now, granted, 54-yarders is no doozy, right? But this is just kind of another struggle that we've been seeing in terms of the Arizona Cardinals has always been struggling with kickers, right? Zane Gonzalez a few years back, and then Matt Prater came in to be our savior, and now he seems to be missing kicks. I just hope we can get it right before the regular season comes over. But yeah, not looking good so far for Matt Prater. Now, Devon Kennard did get a sack, so definitely kudos to that. We ended up holding the Baltimore Ravens to 3 points, so we did a really good job there. Jonathan Ward, he was held out for the entirety of the game. I believe he had a shoulder injury, which really sucks because he was really involved in the offense, catching out of the backfield, running out of the backfield, and as well as he was involved in special teams. And I really liked what I seen from Jonathan Ward. I really would love for him to get into this 53-man roster, maybe more primarily special teams, just because of how stacked the running back core is for the Arizona Cardinals. But I really like what I seen from Jonathan Ward. Hopefully it's not that big of a deal, even if they hold him out for week 3 of preseason. Maybe, just maybe, we will see him make the 53-man roster. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Now, like I said a little earlier, Trace McSorley didn't have the best game. It wasn't the worst, but it definitely wasn't the best. There was a couple missed opportunities for the Arizona Cardinals to possibly get a touchdown, but Victor Bolin Jr. could not pull the trigger. It sucks. The best drive that Trace McSorley ended up having was the one right before the half. Like, we got so close to getting a touchdown, but we had to settle for a field goal, which is unfortunate. So going into the half, it was 10-3. Baltimore Ravens were leading, and now the Baltimore Ravens, looking at the score right now, seems to have scored another touchdown on this Arizona Cardinal defense as well. Now, granted, I don't think we're in a situation where we're like, right, panic everybody. It sucks, right? It sucks to see it. We've been hearing from previous, Baltimore Raven players, or I'm sorry, former Baltimore Ravens players talking about like they don't play around with any games. Preseason, regular season, they don't care. They want to win these games. That was said by Trace McSorley, as well as it was said by Hollywood Brown. And it's obvious, right? It's showing here that the Arizona Cardinals just didn't bring enough to compete in this game. Now, as of right now, 24-3, definitely not a good look at all. Nobody really stood out to me specifically. I don't feel like our offense did very, very well. I guess you got to give kudos to Andy Isabella. He made some really good catches. 4 receptions, 48 yards. Greg Dortch obviously also getting involved with 4 receptions, 47 yards. And then Victor Bolden Jr. with 3 receptions, 34 yards. But Trey McBride played this game, and we didn't see very much of Trey McBride. Now, granted, this was his very first game, so I'm not gonna be too hard on Trey McBride. I just wish he was a little bit more involved. We just didn't see it, right? We didn't see it at all. Now, a couple other different things. The running backs, like I said, nothing really stood out. We did see Darrell Williams in 1 carry. Like, that's really crazy, right? With all the people that were saying that Darrell Williams is going to be the number 2, it doesn't seem like that. I do still think it's going to be Eno and then Jonathan Ward and maybe Keontae, but we'll have to kind of wait and see and see what happens there. Oh yeah, and I don't know why I forgot to say this, but the tackling for the Arizona Cardinal defense just as a whole was just absolutely brutal today. I don't know what exactly it was, but it's very frustrating to see a 3rd and long get converted and we're just worried about stripping the ball. Like, just tackle the guy. It's crazy. Another cool thing is that Kyler Murray did get a chance to go ahead and call the plays as well, which is pretty cool to see, right? I think there was a little bit of the 3rd quarter, but also in the 4th quarter as well. So really cool to see Kyler Murray get involved in play calling and just see a different side of the game. And now for the defense here, let's talk a little bit about Zaven. I don't think Zaven had a bad game. He did have a really good tackle that he ended up, tackling somebody for a loss, which is definitely good to see. He didn't have a bad game, but we just didn't see him very much. But that's kind of not his fault, right? He was only in the 1st quarter, so definitely not his fault. I'm glad that he's still getting a lot of reps because he's going to be our starter. And it's really foolish to put him in there for the entirety of the preseason game. But yeah, I think he's definitely gotten better for sure. But overall, this Arizona Cardinal team, we didn't have it today, y'all. We didn't have it today. The juice wasn't there at all for the Arizona Cardinals. Nobody really kind of positive to talk about in this game at all. Let me know what you guys think. What are your thoughts about this Arizona Cardinals versus the Baltimore Ravens game? Put everything in the comments below. As always, like, comment, and subscribe. Appreciate you guys for watching, and I'm out.